So the newest tournament from the PTCGP League, and the last one that dropped before the B1 cards were allowed, Clash of the Titans. And this one's all in your deck building requirements. It's all about Pokemon EX only. So the rules are your deck can only use Pokemon EX or their pre-evolutions, and you can only include the pre-evos if the Pokemon EX for them is in the deck. And additionally, all Pokemon must be able to put into play. So again, if you're bringing in Stage 1 or Stage 2, you have to have the basics and the means to evolve into it. If you question why you might try not doing that, it's because of the next rule. The second rule is your deck must generate at least 2 energy types, and for each energy type you generate, you've got to have 3 Pokemon cards of the type. This brings us on to a rule though about supplemental Pokemon. Some of these Pokemon cards will benefit from the format or are completely unaffected by it. So if you want to bring them, they don't count towards your requirements for Pokemon cards matching the energy. These include the Decidueye line, the Jumpluff line, the Yanmega lines, Ho-Oh, Poliwrath, Alolan Raichu, and unless you're running 2 copies of Raichu X, also non-EX Pikachu. And there's also finally a banned list, and this is for those who can actively work and avoid the format, so Leafeon and Giratina are banned, or those who are just too strong in the format, Mew, Arceus, and the Shining Reverie Stoke Charizard. And additionally, all non-EX Eevee are banned, so if you're running any evolutions, you can only do it from EVEX. Okay, right then, let's break down the goals of the tournament. As there's a minimum of 2 energies generated, you either want to make use of Pokemon with colourless energy requirements, or you want to partner up 2 different types who can complement each other. Although there are some interesting combos that do exist out there, most decks are going to be made up of 2 separate halves depending on the energies they use. And while I only actually tested about a dozen deck ideas, if you take all the best ones and put them all together, there's loads of combinations. So instead of trying to do some deck breakdown for this one, I'm going to do a breakdown of all the X's. And what I've done is I've separated them into tiers, but also split them into types among the tiers. Because first type you've got is going to be like your main attackers. So they're the ones you want to get out there to play ball. But you need a few auxiliary types to support them. You might have low energy attackers, so you can put these guys in, and for like 1 energy cost normally, they can start attacking while you can put the rest of your energy on your main guy at the back. Also helping to disrupt opponents with damage, and got some slight resistance to energy removal, which will be discussed a bit later. There's also some ramp guys, mostly they're banned, but normally they can generate energy somehow to sustain themselves, so again you can just build out your main threat in the background. Final type is mostly the ones who support through abilities. They can benefit you in several ways, and sometimes they're also able to attack too. First up, alright, just the nope level. These guys, they're just going to be unusable for whatever reason, usually because they need several of the same energy, or they discard energy to attack, or they just take up too many supplemental spaces. Not really going to talk about these much. So then we'll get into the low tier then, and the majority of the X's end up down here. If we start the main attackers, most of these guys here will probably be on the nope tier, but they're only on this list because they've got access to help to get them more energy, and they've got different pre-evo types to help your requirements, or specifically for Lycanroc, you can actually search for it through the deck through his pre-evo. And your low tier auxiliary guys, you've got a mix of powerful ones, but they can't guarantee the energy to activate their abilities, or some supplementals, but who just take up too much deck space to use really. So we're going to move to the middle tier. The main attackers here, they're the ones who can get some high damage numbers and low energy requirements, or make use of colourless energy when they're attacking. Or they may have access to either trainer cards or abilities or attack effects that can really boost them. And there's one addition to this tier, and that's Dragonite. Really powerful, he deserves to be a high tier. The main issue now is because dragons don't count, you need to also have additional free lightning and free water in the deck. With the mid guys in the auxiliary tier, these ones really aren't about attacking as much as they are for their abilities. The evolutions have got their abilities. There's a few more guys here who are all some decent energy generators if you can get them going. Finally, legendary dogs. Because of that card draw, it's a really good ability. What holds them back is the fact they need double energy requirements. And then say 2 of the 3. Raikou got dropped to low tier. These 2 are in mid tier because of either Moltres or Misty, which can help get them going. Finally, we'll go talk about the high tier guys. There's several of these that end up in multiple categories, so I just thought I'd put them all together and just discuss them all in one go. So the grass guys get both Leaf Cape and Erica to keep them healthy. And then with Executor, using one of the executes, he can actually self-generate energy, so even if you don't draw any grass, he can still get going. And 80 damage if you use a will or have good luck is pretty decent output. Then we've got Incineroar here, and while he could benefit from a Moltres, he doesn't really need it because it's only a single energy to get attacking. Obviously it inflicts burn, which is pretty good, and he has access to Howl and Lily as well. Crabominable is based on an Executor who's got 1 tails and permanent heads. Again, even if you can't generate the water energy, likely you could use the Misty card to get him going. So he also comes with a fighting basic as well, which helps him mix into any fighting water decks. Say if you wanted to run Poliwrath. So they actually combine really well, but Poliwrath on his own, the reason he's actually supplemental, and that's because he wants fighting and water to hit for 140 damage. And as well as actively liking dual energy, he's a stage 2, so you can use Lily on him, and he has water pre-evos. Other fighting types, we've got Persimmon. He only needs a single fighting and the colourless to start attacking. His ability brings him top tier because of the fact that if you lead with him and he gets knocked out, you can stick all your fighting onto someone else, which can potentially pair him with fire, power up a Charizard. If you paired him with grass, power up a Celebi. Donphan here, he's both a low energy attacker, so he gets going for a single fighting, and if you get enough fighting on him, he does become a main attacker. But you can pair him up with Memory Light and also just flail away, so even for 1 energy he can still hit over 100 damage if you set it up properly. We've got Garchomp here. He's also similar. He's a low energy attacker as a stage 2, but he can also be a main attacker, gets enough energy. The main thing is he's got the sniping attack for his low range one, and that probably easily makes him one of the top 3 cards in the format for me, just being able to hit anywhere. And finally we've got the Aerodactyl. So not only does his ability stop them evolving to any stage 2 EXs in the active spot, he's also got the ability to attack for 1 fight and 1 colourless, which is neat. The main thing Aerodactyl's in top tier for is the fact that he's a fossil. It means you can just splash Aerodactyl into any deck that uses fighting energy, and you don't even have to play him. Because Old Amber's not a basic, you're never going to draw a Pokeball, you're never going to be forced to start with it. So you're not in a situation where you've got a basic up front that you really don't want to play. Then looking at electric guys, they've got Tapu Koko. Again, he's a low energy guy, but he's also a self ramp. So you get 1 lightning on him, he'll start building himself up, and the next turn you can either hit 90, or you can spread your energy around to the rest of the guys while he powers up again. Pairing with electric cord, and then obviously once he goes, he can also spread the electric energy out to the rest of the team. Then we get to Lantern. He only does 80 damage for 3 energy, but it only needs 1 lightning and 2 colourless. So it's you'd have to brick pretty hard in energy to not get any attacks with him. But the main thing, he's got status effects. So you either paralyze or confuse, so a lot of the time it can just lock their opponent, or it can just really screw with them, especially if they don't have any Pokemon Center ladies or big Malasada to hand. In the dark, you've got Crobat. We've already seen him as a big player in the meta scene. For a single dark energy and a rare candy, he can just start destroying anything in front of him, especially with the poison to add on to chip away their health. But then we get to Guzzlord, who's another top card in the format. For 2 colourless, so it doesn't matter what energy you've drawn, he can just start like stripping away your opponent's energy. If you're lucky enough as well to get enough dark, he can do the big hits for himself. But you can combo up with Wheels to guarantee energy removal, you can combo up with Lucamines to bring energy back from your discard for him. His high retreat cost does let him down, but it depends on who you pair him with, he can be really successful. The last 2 guys here, they're a bit of a pair, but Sylveon of course has to be here. That draw 2 just can't be matched by anything else as a support card. And plus, because you're being forced to play dual energy, a lot of the time he can actually go out as attacker as well, because he just needs 1 psychic and 1 colourless. Anyway, that's probably all the X's. I reckon I've missed one. But so let's talk about our deck building. We know Guzzlord's going to be popular, so ideally you want someone in your deck who can attack for low energy. No, Poliwrath's going to be popular, so you want to get Pokemon with 150 plus HP. We know Tapu Koko's going to be popular, so fighting's good to have, electric weakness not so much, and the legendary dogs and Sylveon's going to be popular. So if you've got anyone who's going to hit for 140 in one go, that's also going to be good. And you don't really want to have multiple stage 2s, that is going to clog your deck and it is going to drop your consistency. And although the supplemental Pokemon are good, again, you want to bring as little of them as possible. The more you bring, the more you have to remove, because you've still got that 6 minimum Pokemon you've got to meet. But as I said before, I did test like about a dozen decks, and here's the top 3 decks I ended up running. So my third place was Lantern and Garchomp. I've already talked about how good they both are, and they work quite well together, because if you're not getting the fight in, you can attack the Lantern. If you are getting the fight in, you snipe with the Garchomp. If you're getting a mix, normally end up using Lantern with 1 lightning and 2 fighting sometimes, but those status effects really can like mess up your opponent. And if they try to retreat to get out of it, Garchomp steps up and snipes on the bench. Plus he's able to, if he comes out fast from rare candy, snipe off your opponent's non-EXs before they can evolve, and also paired well with Cyrus. I just did find it bricked a little bit too much compared to the other 2, so was why I didn't run it. In my second top deck, Dragonite. It's interesting, 180 is the second most damage behind Charizard, but does pretty much one-shot anything that isn't caped. And obviously if you've got a decent setup on the bench, you just Lyra a turn after you attack, row back in and do it again. And there's no way you're not going to be carrying an X for one of them, so he's just got to get 2 attacks off. High HP, and you can Lily. The only downside is you've got no babies, you've got no energy generation, so you do have to naturally draw the 2 different ones, get them on him and get him out. And then you've also got the fact that you needed another 6 Pokemon. And I did my deck, I put in all legendary dogs just to guarantee the card draw, to guarantee I got Dragonite and guaranteed I got all the trainers and the supporters. And probably I would have run that one, if I wanted to try something a little different, and if I hadn't done this next one. And it was a random idea, and it's actually my final choice, which is here. So I've basically gone Ho-Oh Lugia, but I've mixed it up. The idea came from someone just tried to put a nose pass on the fighting deck. What do you think about that? No pass and probo pass can mix together well. So yeah, so Aerodactyl's in there as discussed. I've got 1 old amber and 2 Aerodactyls. That's 2 fighting types. I don't really plan to play them unless I have to. Again, mixing the steel, I've got 1 nose pass, but I've got 2 probo pass. I don't plan to play as many probo pass, but they're meeting my card requirements, and also mixes between the 2 energies, which works well. And there was one match in training where I did actually get probo pass out to finish it off. See there. There's not really any other good steel options to have, so I have got Dialga. Ideally, if I lead with Dialga and 2 steel, Dialga can power up the Ho-Oh. Then the plan is just get 3 energy on Ho-Oh, have him power up Lugia. Hopefully Ho-Oh gets a knockout, and then Lugia just comes in and finishes off anything. Anyway, that's my deck setup, so let's move on to the first round. So I begin crashing the Titans up against a Lantern Garchomp, along with Tapu Koko, which was basically one of my top decks that I'd made. Individually, my deck has beaten these guys in testing. I don't know how it does when they're combined, but obviously you got the benefits. Garchomp, single energy, gets to snipe. Tapu, single energy, like ramps himself. And Lantern, 80 damage with status effects, but just needs 1 electric, so he's easy to set up. Supporter wise though, single red, single Cyrus, single Mars. So they can gust in my bench after sniping, they can shake up my hand, and obviously do the extra 20 damage. Gotta keep my eye on the ball on this one. Okay, so my phone, game 1's already gone down. Unfortunately, the recording's gone, I've lost it. But it was a win for the opposition. It started out a bit as a brick. I had 2 Lugias in hand, and that was it for like the first 3-4 turns. And by the time I got Ho-Oh, they got Garchomp, so immediately he was under attack. Stupid thing. We'll send you out first anyway. As much as I'd love to send out the nose pass with the steel energy, it's just not worth it. Ooh. This could be interesting. Unless I'm going to get Mars now. But if I don't get Mars, I'm definitely using silver. Okay, so far this is looking better for me. Let's see what you got. Alright, take it that way. Cyrus, Coco, and another guy. No evolving for you. I know it's not your plan, but the question is, you're going to put electric on Tapu or on Jinju? Drop you there. I think I want Dialga. Now, I'm assuming you're going to retreat to Tapu. Yes, because then you get the KO on Ho-Oh. But it does take all your energy to do it, so. It feels a shame to burn free energy in return, but I'm going to. However, if I get steel fighting, I can get the Aerodactyl out. Yeah, if it's steel fighting, I'll go for Aerodactyl. If it's steel, I'll go for Dialga. While waiting to draw the second Ho-Oh. Actually, do you know what? I'm not going for second Ho-Oh. I'm going for Dialga Probopass. So secretly, I'm hoping you actually hit the Lugia, but I don't think you will. Especially because of Aero's ability. I really want a Mars, but I can't Mars and retreat. Save the Leaf, I'll save the Lugia. Because Lugias can't attack now without getting Ho-Oh out. Now Garchomp will come out. The question is, who's he going to hit? And there's the Mars I wanted to do. Yeah, Aerodactyl's the weakest, it makes sense. Save the Leaf for now. It's no use because he just hits him twice. Yeah, the cape saved him. So, good game indeed. Right, well, just like last tourney, round 1 loss. Let's see if I can come back and win 6 in a row again like last time though. And then get knocked out top cut first round. But hopefully in the next round, you'll actually see the deck work out it's supposed to do. Don't know if it cut off or not, but just like last tournament where I used the Ho-Gear deck, in all the testing it was amazing, it was great, and the minute I got to the tournament, it just started bricking like mad and just being useless. Anyway, yeah, see you in the next round.